tiny little bit of like frame rate issue, and my phone just seems to be going a tadgy bit slow. Not really sure why. But welcome back to another stream. I'm not too comfy on this chair. I might see if I can't move us. But as you can see, I am like very much lagging. Really lagging, and I don't actually fully know why. But I'm going to come on sit on the floor because that chair is not too comfy, to be honest. In my time. So welcome back to another stream. Today we are doing the Bounce Central after, where I know some people might it's the first one they've watched for a while and they might not have seen like the previous ones. So if you are a little bit sort of like blind to the situation, I got booked for an event yesterday called Bounce Central, and it was in a place just outside of Doncaster called Adwick, and I've got to say it was a banging night, but it was one of the most weirdest gigs that I think that I have ever played. It was very, very weird. Was just weird, and it was just not the place where you would expect to go and start blasting out BPM donk. Trust me. But on the other hand, it actually worked out quite well in that sense. It was very weird. So I got to the location, and you go inside, and there's a function room. It's actually a pub. There's two rooms. There's like a big room, like a small room. The big room we was originally supposed to use, but then a 30th birthday party got booked in for the room, and then we ended up getting the smaller room. So going to this pub, just like your normal average everyday pub. So I walk into the room where we're playing, and there's the young lads on the night out having a game of pool. You know, the people that would just go for a few drinks, bar, who just sit there and prop up the bar all night. And then you've got like a middle-aged to old couple sat having a drink and a packet of crisps. And when you go in that room and you think we're gonna blast like hard donk and bounce anthems, you'd think like, oh my god, what is going on here? And it literally was. We was in the little corner of a pub, and the sound system, oh my days, that sound system was banging. That is one of the best sound systems I've ever heard. It was kicking through like I don't know what. It was absolutely mental. It was kicking through, belting. The sound system was just so loud. I've never heard anything like it in all my life, and coming out for a little pub like that as well. Oh my days. And even the bar manager was like, you can go up, you can go up, you can go up. And it was almost like it was like we was in competition with this who's having this 30th birthday, really. Where they're having all the usual, 60s, 70s, 80s, just rocking out there, and I've done them kind of parties myself. And then there's us like blasting all this like bounce and donk and clubland. It was mad. So my friend Tyndall, he was on first, played an absolutely banging set. I grabbed the mic for a little bit, a bit later on in his set. I grabbed the mic. I thought, you know what, I'll have a little go, have a little spit. And then I was up second, and I just proper full on went in, and I blew people's heads off. And response in Messenger today was that I blew his tiny little head off with the way I was mixing, and so some of the tunes I was dropping. and I just went fully in. And the set itself was just an absolute. It was one of the best bounce sets that I've ever played. It was absolutely banging. It was just me. It was the decks. It was just that this pub with these people. And the night itself didn't get mega busy, but it didn't do too bad. I mean, to say there was a party on in the other room, and to say the location of it, and the people that were in the room, they was up for it, and they enjoyed it. And I think it was quite nice that sort of something a little bit different, came to that pub as well, which I thought, oh, this is a bit different to what you normally hear, and I think it attracted a couple of people to just enjoy themselves, which was quite good. But yeah, so I'm playing this set, and I dropped this remix in a Faithless Week on One, and this sound system's belting. It's a Critical Mass remix of Faithless Week on One. And all I'm gonna say is that tune in itself takes heads off. Never mind coming through that sound system. So obviously I'm booming away, belting away, got these tunes coming in, and then all of a sudden, I think I had Dave Curtis's remix of Dynamite, and this Week on One was the third tune on my list, and I get right in the mix. I always like to double drop my donks. Some people mix. Some people like start bringing the tune in on the outro. So obviously at the end of a donk track, you've got like a 16 bars of like the kick and bass with the donk before it goes back to just the kicks without the donk. And some people start bringing it in on that kick and bass with the donk, and I do it sometimes, but I like to start bringing it in 16 bars earlier, so then so when the donk outro comes in, you've got the donk intro coming into the next track, and then the double dropping like over the top of each other. So I did it with this Faithless tune. I double dropped it, if you like, and this like real heavy bass that Critical Mass had used in this tune just proper came out, and it just absolutely just it powered through this system, to the point where like all the other DJs just turned and looked and went like, oh my actual days, like, and they're going like, ooh, there's some bass coming through that. And then it goes into the breakdown, and it's it's the Faithless Week on One that everyone knows, and then it builds up, and it drops into something like quite heavy again, and people are just going for it. They're like, and people are coming up to the decks and sort of like, what is it, who's done this tune, what's the name of this tune, what's the name of this remix, and they're all like absolutely buzzing for it, and wanting to know what it is. It just absolutely belting. But the set itself, I just played some belters throughout the set, really. Just got right into it, and the thing about me as well is I've always got like that characterful energy as well. So I'm always dancing around and having a good time, and I like to experiment. I like to like what do you call it? I like to drop in, like double drop, and I like to chop as well. So I like to sort of like give little almost like little hints and clues of what the next track is going to be. And I like to just get a little bit more creative behind the decks, and just do a little bit more as opposed to just mix one track into the other track. I try to be as creative as I can without necessarily using like loads of effects as well. I'll use like flanger and stuff, and I'll occasionally use like the roll effect, but I like to do my own like chopping, and just creating my own little vibes really behind the decks, and it always seems to pay off. I got people dancing, but before my set, I'm just dancing, just having a chill out, and sort of just having a little bit of a dance as well to Tyndall's set. And I need the loo, so I go to the loo, get myself all prepared for going in. And there's like a group of youngish teenagers, maybe late teens, early 20s, and in the pub just having a few drinks, and they're like, "You're on TikTok, aren't you?" And I got recognised, and because I never really know how to really answer it, because I suppose in a way I am on TikTok, but I have an account on TikTok. I just don't use it. But the only reason why people know me from TikTok is through the pages that have like posted me on. And I don't really go on TikTok to to really manage them pages, or like to have a look at TikTok. I don't sign in. I don't follow anything because I just don't like the app. I got the app originally when it was Musical.ly's, and then when it changed to TikTok, and then I heard quite a few rumours about it not being the best app, and just stuff that put me off it. So I never got really that too involved in having an account on it, and I find it a bit cringy, really. Some of the like dancing and shit that people do on there, it's not really my thing. I know you can stream on it as well, but I think you've got to have like 1,000 followers or something. And I thought, I ain't gonna dance around like a clown to build up 1,000 followers just to go live on there. Do you know what I mean? And the thing about me is that some people like that. Some people are big online. I just prefer being big in person. Like I use online to promote myself, but I don't use online as a like sort of like as a job, as an income. I know some people get that many followers and that big at streaming that they do turn it into their income and they do make money from it. Me, I just use it to say, look, I'm playing here. I use it to DJ on some pages just to build some more following, so people will book me for events, because that's where I want to play events. I don't want to be part of some big like Twitch live event or TikTok live event. I want to be live in a venue and playing on a lineup at a club where I can see physical people, stand on a real stage looking at people, not stood in my bedroom. I enjoy doing me once a week live stream, and that does it. I enjoy it. I have fun. But I won't want to turn the online into like a professional thing, because it's just not me. So yeah, but no, he said that I'm on TikTok, so I'm like, oh no, yeah, all right, yeah, I am. Like, where you from? Like Hull. And then they're like, yeah, it's that guy, it's him. He's the one who was on TikTok. I knew it. And then I grabbed the mic at the event, which sort of buzzed them. And then they wanted to try and grab the mic, and I'm like, no, not anybody, not anyone can just grab the mic. And they didn't really like it. They didn't really seem to understand. But they didn't keep hassling, but there was a bit like, oh, come on, years ago, first. And sadly, no, you can't. You can't have a go, mate. I can't let you have a go, mate. Sorry. So yeah, so I did my set, and then I chilled about for a bit. Caught the next set, and then I had to get a train to get back home, because I didn't want to miss the final train to get home. Otherwise, I'm stranded in Doncaster all night, which is not a good thing. So anyway. On the way to the venue, I had a right issue, because I was supposed to get the 5:25 train to Doncaster, and it was nearly half an hour late, which meant because I was supposed to change at Doncaster and get a train to the train that I was supposed to get to Adwick, because my first train was delayed. I missed that train to Adwick. So essentially, it's not good. So I'm a bit panicky, and I just wait for the next train to Adwick. So anyway, so I've done my set. I'm chilling out for a bit, and then because I was gonna walk back to the Adwick station, obviously. So cut the story short. The guy running the event says, I'll give you a run. I'll give you a lift back to the station. So it gives me a lift. And at this point, I'm thinking, well, that's actually a bit shit, because I could have stayed at your night longer. Do you know what I mean? If I knew you was going to give me a lift. But I thought, because of walking, I thought it might be, a good idea, if I set off and, walk it now, and I didn't think it was as long of a walk than it actually is. But I thought, if I have to sit at the station a bit, I do, but I'd rather be there than miss a train. So anyway, cut the story short, I get to the Adwick station, and there's a train in the station that takes me to Doncaster. So I thought, well, I might as well jump on it. Do you know what I mean? So I'll jump on it, say goodbye to him, get back to Doncaster, and I've got about an hour to spare before I need to get this last train back to Hull. I think I'm a little bit peckish. So I go into the Donny Centre and try and have a look and see if the McDonald's is open. Sadly, the shit cunting place was shut, which was actually a good thing, because I remembered Donny. There's one of my favourite fast food places. It's called Pepe's. I did a stream about it a while ago. If you've never been, I recommend going. So I thought I'll go to this Pepe's, see if it's still open. Luckily, Noble's in luck. Noble's having a good night for once after everything else going wrong. And the Pepe's on a Friday and a Saturday stays open till 2 a.m, which is an absolute belting thing. So anyway, so I get to Pepe's, and then I can hear all this bounce and clubland music going off, and then I remember that my mate DJ Porter's playing in a bar just up on Silver Street. So I thought, well, do you know what? I've got a little bit of time. I'll just pop in and say hello. So I pop in. And well, I get to the club where I thought, I'm sure he's playing somewhere around here, and this sounds like the type of stuff he'd be playing. I look through the door, and I just can't see anybody. I'm looking at DJ booths right up there on another level. Anyway, Porter's girlfriend comes out, recognises me. She's like, "Oh my Noble, Porter's in there. You know, you coming in?" "Oh yeah, I'll come in." I've had a shave, so I get ID'd, and then I go in, and then Porter only drops mine and Lee Wright's remix of Pretty Green Eyes. I was buzzed about that, absolutely buzzed. Crazy times, but I was absolutely buzzed. Absolutely, really buzzed. So he dropped it. I stuck around for a little bit, and then I just essentially went and got my food, went back to the station, and got myself for the train, ready to go home. And got tucked up in bed by about just after 1 o'clock, I think it was, in the morning. Woke up because I had to be picked up to do a kids' party today. Which actually went down all right. It wasn't the most enjoyable thing I've ever done, but I didn't mind it. Like, it wasn't horrible. I'd do it again. You know, and I actually had quite a bit of a boogie. But I made a massive error. I got to the venue, and what have I done? I've left the main wire that plugs into my speaker at home. Luckily, my dad had took me to this gig, and he goes and buys one from the computer shop, but not good. Not a good thing at all. It wasn't good. You know, it was the one I got every other wire, and that was the one thing that I forgot. And now I know why. Now I know why I forgot it as well. Like it's not really an excuse, but essentially I've got to go right behind. I've got to go behind my like little DJ booth at home. It's plugged into a trailing socket, and then I've got to like reach it round to get it out. And because I wouldn't say I was rushing, but I just wanted to make sure that I was ready when they came. Like, I got everything packed up, I took everything down, and then, you know, when you just look around and you don't see anything, and because it was behind the booth, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, you know, I've just bagged all my wires up. You know, the speakers are down, the stands are down, the CDJs, the mixer, they're all boxed up, and I'm just forgetting about that wire behind the booth that's in a trailing socket. And then I realised that, oh shit, you know, like oh shit. Like, really, oh shit. So that was it. Do you know what I mean? That was interrupted. We're back live. Yeah, so it was almost like we interrupted a local pub's Friday night of playing pool, eating crisps and drinking beer. But it went down all right. So I've got more bookings to announce very soon, so bear with me. I've actually got one that I could potentially either announce tomorrow or Monday. The flyer's coming out tomorrow, I think, but whether I get a chance to stream it or not is a different story. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, share. Peace out, people. Don't do this to me. Yes, I do want. Oh, God.